Franz Kafka's The Castle, published posthumously in 1926, is one of the most enigmatic and haunting works of modernist literature. Like his other major novels, The Castle remained unfinished at the time of Kafka's death. Nonetheless, its incomplete form only adds to the mystique and existential complexity of the work. The novel follows a protagonist known only as K, a land surveyor who arrives in a snow-covered village governed by a mysterious and impenetrable bureaucracy centered in a distant castle. Throughout the narrative, K attempts to gain access to the castle and to be recognized by its authorities, only to face an endless series of deferrals, miscommunications, and absurd obstacles. This essay explores the major themes of the castle: alienation, bureaucracy, the search for meaning, and the futility of human effort, and situates the novel within Kafka's broader philosophical and literary concerns. Alienation and the outsider. From the very beginning, K is an outsider. His arrival in the village is met not with welcome, but with suspicion and resistance. The villagers act as though his presence is unauthorized and inconvenient, and K is forced to justify his very existence. The castle, the apparent seat of authority, remains remote and inaccessible, and K is never able to reach it physically or metaphorically. This setup establishes the core theme of alienation that runs through the novel. K's position mirrors the existential estrangement that Kafka's characters often experience. He is a man trying to find his place within a world that is indifferent, if not hostile to his presence. The villagers are entangled in a complex web of rules, traditions, and loyalties that are never fully explained, and they are incapable or unwilling to help K navigate the system. Even his relationship with Frida, a barmaid who becomes his fiancée, is marked by misunderstanding and emotional distance. This condition of existential exile resonates with the modern individual's experience in an impersonal world, echoing the philosophies of thinkers like Kierkegaard, Dostoevsky, and later, Sartre and Camus. For Kafka, alienation is not only social or political, but metaphysical, a reflection of humanity's struggle to find meaning and belonging in a world that offers neither certainty nor redemption. The labyrinth of bureaucracy. One of the most distinctive features of The Castle is its depiction of bureaucracy as a vast, impenetrable, and ultimately senseless structure. The castle functions as the center of administrative power, yet it is completely detached from the everyday lives of the villagers. Communications from the castle are delayed, distorted, or incomprehensible. The officials, such as Clam and Erlanger, are elusive and inaccessible. The secretaries and messengers, like Barnabas and Olga, serve only to deepen the confusion. K's efforts to gain recognition from the castle are endlessly thwarted by this bureaucracy. He is told that he was summoned as a land surveyor, then informed that the summons was an error. He attempts to clarify his status only to be redirected, ignored, or given contradictory information. The labyrinthine bureaucracy operates according to rules that are opaque, arbitrary, and fundamentally irrational. Kafka's portrayal of bureaucracy prefigures the critiques of modern institutions offered by Max Weber, who described the rise of rational legal authority as a dehumanizing force. In Kafka's universe, however, bureaucracy is not merely inefficient. It is a symbolic structure representing the futility of human striving and the inscrutable nature of power. The castle may be read as an allegory for the state, the church, or even divine authority, but in every case, it remains unreachable and unaccountable. The futility of human effort. A central motif of The Castle is the futility of K's efforts. He is a man of action and reason, seeking clarity, justice, and purpose. Yet every path he takes leads to further confusion. His attempts to assert his identity, to claim his right to be in the village, to be heard by the castle authorities, all are in vain. The world of the novel is one in which intention and effort are disconnected from outcome. Even K's personal relationships become subsumed into this atmosphere of frustration. His engagement to Frida, initially a sign of belonging and affection, deteriorates into jealousy, resentment, and loss. His conversations with villagers, with castle functionaries, and with fellow outsiders like the school teachers or Barnabas's family only reveal the inescapable complexity of the system in which they all live. This sense of futility is not merely a critique of bureaucracy, but a deeper existential commentary. Kafka's fiction often explores the limits of human agency. In The Trial, The protagonist is arrested and prosecuted without ever being told why. In The Metamorphosis, Gregor Samsa wakes up as an insect and finds himself cut off from human contact. In The Castle, the unattainable castle becomes the ultimate symbol of a goal that recedes the closer one approaches it. Kay's predicament embodies the tragic dignity of the human being who strives even when success is impossible and meaning is uncertain. Language and miscommunication. Language, in The Castle, is not a vehicle for communication, but a tool of obfuscation. Messages from the castle are ambiguous or contradictory. Verbal exchanges are marked by misinterpretation and evasion. Letters that Kay receives, such as the one from Clom, are full of official-sounding phrases but devoid of actionable meaning. Conversations with castle messengers or village authorities rarely clarify anything. This use of language reflects Kafka's deep skepticism about the ability of words to convey truth in a bureaucratic or institutional context. Language is not a bridge between people, but a barrier. It is often used to maintain power hierarchies and to avoid accountability. For Kay, language becomes yet another obstacle in his journey. The incomplete structure and its implications. Kafka died in June 1924 before completing The Castle, and the final chapter breaks off in mid-sentence. Yet many critics have suggested that this incompletion is thematically appropriate. Kafka's friend Max Brod, who edited and published the novel, claimed that Kafka had intended the story to end with Kay dying in the village, still denied access to the castle, but finally being told that his application was under consideration. Whether this was Kafka's intent or not, the unfinished nature of the novel enhances its themes of delay, uncertainty, and the infinite deferral of meaning. Just as Kay never reaches the castle, the reader never reaches a narrative resolution. The novel becomes a metaphor for the open-ended, often unsatisfying search for truth and belonging. Allegorical interpretations. Over the decades, the castle has been interpreted in various allegorical ways. Some see it as a religious allegory, with the castle representing God or divine authority, and Kay as a seeker of grace who is never granted salvation. Others interpret it politically, viewing the castle as a symbol of state bureaucracy or totalitarian power. Still others read it existentially, focusing on the individual's confrontation with an absurd and indifferent universe. Kafka himself resisted allegorical readings, but his work lends itself to multiple layers of meaning. The novel's surreal and symbolic landscape, its snowbound village, its unreachable castle, its silent and invisible authorities, invites comparisons to the spiritual pilgrimages of Dante or the trials of Job, filtered through the lens of 20th century modernism. Conclusion. Franz Kafka's The Castle is a profound and unsettling exploration of the human condition in the modern world. It portrays a protagonist caught in a system that is vast, indifferent, and incomprehensible. Through themes of alienation, bureaucracy, futility, and miscommunication, Kafka crafts a world that mirrors our own, yet distorts it into a parable of existential despair. Despite its incompletion, The Castle remains a masterwork of literary modernism. It confronts readers with the limits of human reason, the fragility of identity, and the enduring mystery of authority. In doing so, it challenges us to reflect on the structures, both external and internal, that shape our lives, our choices, and our sense of self.